Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make six figures in 2025 as a service provider slash solopreneur. If you understand this system appropriately, going into next year, you can actively and passively make six figures, upwards of $300,000 in revenue next year by implementing this system here. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing you have to understand in order to make this amount of money is you have to have a skill set. What you're going to be selling, be it products or service, is going to be based off of a skill set. If you do not have a skill set, forget about it. So whatever skill set you currently have, if you are in the skill trades, if you are an online entrepreneur selling digital products, coaching, consulting, selling courses, stuff like that. If you have experience in the tech industry as a developer, engineer, API integrator, systems integrator, and all that stuff, that's a skill set you can actively integrate into, online business and make six figures next year in 2025. So the first step is figuring out what sort of skill set you have in place and how you can sell it as a service or a product. Typically, services can be more expensive. Products have like a cap, except it's luxury products like watches, luxury real estate, and so forth. I'm thinking if you are in that category, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. You're not. So in order to make good amount of money, you can charge anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 per person or per business if it's B2B, or per person if it's B2C. You have to actively repackage whatever skill set you have into a service that can be sold for mass production, right? Step number 2 is traffic. You cannot sell if you do not have some sort of traffic source. There is multiple ways to go about traffic, which I'm going to break down in the visualization process, but just know you do need some sort of traffic to be able to sell, because if you're in the middle of, West Texas in the desert, no one knows you, right? You can expect to make six figures if no one knows you. But if you're in West Texas, you're known online, you get in, anywhere from 10 million to 100 million monthly views, or either paid for via advertising or organically through content marketing, posting content. Or another way you can go about it is leveraging someone else's viewership, someone else's attention, and siphoning that into your service to make money. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. So the fourth step is operations process. You have to have a process to operate at scale. If you wish to sell to a handful of people, you're not going to make a lot of money. If you wish to make a lot of money, you have to sell to a couple hundred people. You don't need to get to the 1,000 people thing, but a couple hundred people, 100 to 200 a year, and you can make a good amount of money, six figures, anywhere from $300,000 to $900,000 a year easily, just by implementing an operations process that's built for scale. Last but not the least is leverage fulfillment. You have to have some sort of leverage fulfillment. Fulfillment is basically implementation of your services into the individual's life, if it's a person, or the business services if it's a B2B service you are offering, right? So you have to have a way to basically fulfill at scale as well. You have to be leveraged. If you have to actively do stuff at a business in order to fulfill while you have customers waiting in line to buy from you, that is not leverage, right? You are a commodity at that point. You're basically a laborer. You're putting in hours, you're putting in time. But if you have some sort of automated system through software or through outsourcing, you have a leverage fulfillment. Outsourcing is you have a team in place to actively fulfill for each individual client or a set or a group of clients at the same time. So you may have a team that fulfills for 10 to 20 clients at the same time, 12 to 24, that's a dozen to 2 dozen clients at the same time. You have some sort of system like that, either like I said, through labor, which is having people to do it for you, outsourcing to cheaper laborers. That's one way to go about providing leverage. Another way to go about providing leverage, depending on the service you are offering to the market, is via software, right? There are certain services software cannot provide leverage for. If you're in the field, in the oil rig, software is not going to be able to do that, right? Software can help you make the work more efficient, but it's not necessarily gonna provide you a lot of leverage in terms of production, right? So you have to provide yourself or come up with a system that provides you leverage fulfillment to be able to sell at scale. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the visualization process. Step number 1, like I said, is skill set. You have to actively have a skill set you can repackage into a service for scalability, for mass production, right? So whatever skill set you currently have, you don't have to get into anything, though there are some leverage skill sets right now that you can use to get to this point faster than it would take you using other skill sets, right? So for instance, if you have a marketing background, that is a leverage skill set. If you have a creative background, like a videographer, editor, that is a leverage skill set. If you have a good amount of following online already, anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 people following you, that is a good skill set. It takes skills to develop that much following. So all you could do at that point is just ask your followers what they want from you and you just sell it to them. It gets so easy at that point, right? But those are like leverage skill sets you can have. But that being said, every other skill set, it doesn't matter what sort of skill set, excluding general labor. If you work at a warehouse, sorry, that's not a skill set. That's just doing, paying for labor, right? But if you have a skill set, like I said, I'm reinforcing this so you understand this. Private chef, tech, engineering, development, architecture, sketching, art, whatever it is, if it's some sort of skill set that someone would actively pay you money for, you can repackage it into a service that you can sell to one, multiple, hundreds of people at the same time. Selling to one is basically employment. That's basically what it is. Selling to multiple people is freelancing. Selling to hundreds of people is entrepreneurship. So you have to choose where you want to sit, right? So that's step number one. Step number two in the visualization process is traffic. So like I said, paid ads is number one. You can get a lot of traffic from paid ads if you're a regular Joe. You do not care about posting content. Save up a little bit, typically $3,000 to $6,000. If you can save that amount of money, you already have a service, you already have a skill set that you're ready to produce to the masses as a service. You already have your operations flywheel dialed in, you already have your fulfillment flywheel dialed in. All you just have to do is save up $3,000 to $6,000, and that should cover the ad costs for the first 3 months, right? So about $2,000 a month at $6,000, but about $1,000 a month at $3,000. $3,000 is a little bit tight, so I would say shoot for $6,000 if you want active results. If you want to close anywhere from 4 to 8 deals, ideally you would want to shoot for $6,000. Then the profits you make from the deals you close with the initial $6,000, you can repurpose a percentage of it into more advertising and the rest into profit paying labor and software costs, other costs and expenses and whatnot. That's beside the point. So paid advertising is number one, content number two. It's not meant for everyone. You don't have to do content. Influencer marketing is number three. Find someone who already has a good amount of following. They have a really engaged follower base, and figure out what sort of product they're following would want to potentially buy from them, and make it. Have the influencer sell it for you. They get 25% of it, you keep 75% of it. Easy deal. That's another way to go about it. Operations, you really need operations flywheel. Like I said, figure out how to effectively run the operations at scale for multiple people. I would say optimize for 100 to 1,000 people is a good way to optimize. Heck, even 500 to 1,000 people is a good way to optimize. If you can optimize the operations to be able to handle that amount of demand annually, you're good, because typically to make 6 figures, you really do not have to sell over 1,000 products, except your product is really low ticket, like less than $20. But if you're selling stuff over $500, for instance, you don't have to worry about that. Optimize for 500 to 1,000 people annually and you should be good. Fulfillment, same thing. Optimize to fulfill to multiple people at the same time. You could be individually at the same time. That would require a much broader team. It could be groups at the same time, which I much better advise for. So optimize to fulfill to certain groups at the same time. It could be a group of 24, it could be a group of 36, it could be a group of 48. Typically, I wouldn't want to go above 48, because then it wouldn't feel as custom, as white glove as your clients or customers would prefer. So anything under 48 is typically good for group-based fulfillment. But yeah, man, implement this system. Go from 0 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and upwards of $900,000 in 2025. Let me know if you guys like this video. I'm gonna go ahead and make much more videos similar to this in the coming weeks. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys later.